Okay, so I think I've worked out what's happened here. So anyway, I put the frame plate up on jack stands at their lowest position with the laser over here, and I got them pretty much exactly right all the way around, all four corners. A lot of piss farting around with little shims of metal, but I got all 4 points at the same height in space, and made sure I was in center. So from that center, all the way through, and it actually, the bead on the back of this is right now, and there's a little hole at the top there, and the center line that I've drawn is pretty much dead on that. It's a couple of mils off, but this has been cut, so I think it's probably just moved over a couple of mils. Anyway, apart from that, so I've leveled the frame, and remember what we're talking about is the front frame rail on the right hand side was high by nearly 3 centimeters at the front. So where the front nose bolts onto the frame, it was, this much higher. And so I remeasured everything after I leveled the frame plate, and what I did is I quickly come to realise that the floor wasn't even. I sort of knew that anyway, but what I then did is got my laser level and got a level at the top of the hole for the bolts, and this side was perfectly level all the way through. It's at the same height, and then it runs through to the front of the frame rail. And then what I've now got is a point. Okay, so a reference point just here. So that point is level with the 2 bottom bolts on this frame rail. I'm calling this level, so I'm not going to touch this. As far as I can tell, this is perfect. This didn't get affected in any way. But this one on this side, for some reason, something happened, and as you can see down here, the levels, now this level here should be, this level here, this level line from the laser should be at the top of the hole, and it's not. And then when you go to this one, here, it's actually underneath. And then as you go forward, it actually runs down. So it should be up here somewhere, but it runs all the way down there. So basically what's happening is the whole frame is let me see this. The whole frame is up from a point back, and what I did is I once again scratched my beard a lot and did a lot of measuring, and I worked out that the point here where it joins the frame plate is correct. This is perfectly fine, all the way up to where this weld point is. Now, I noticed that I'd cut the top of this beam here and then brought it down to meet level with that. Now at the time I thought, oh, that's no big deal. I did it to match the reference of the line, but I think what's happened is I've come too high with this beam. I've come too high by about probably only 3 mils, 2-3 millimeters. And then what I've done is I've knocked that down to make it flush when it should have been exactly meeting at the exact point. So somehow I've done that wrong there. And if you continue this line and go to that weld line, and then imagine that you cut this beam and then brought the beam down, you'll actually get the perfect line up. So the top of this and the top of this is the reference for the laser, and then it carries forward and it pretty much makes the perfect line. So on that weld I've made a mistake, and the beam has been put in. It's probably only 2 millimeters, but because of the angle and the length, if you know, like say for instance I'm out 2 degrees over the course of a meter, that's what, 2 centimeters. So this post is probably just over a meter. So if you do the maths, it's probably 2.3 degrees out, that cut. So, you know, I'm only using an angle grinder here and my eye. So that's where I've gone wrong. I'm sure of it. And, you know, I do remember ratchet strapping this front beam to get it to come up, and that's probably made it worse in the long run. I should have gone further back for my measurements, but I only went to here. If I'd gone further back I would have realised what I'd done there. But anyway, so I'll cut all the way around this except for the top section, and that'll make sure that the beam doesn't come free, and then just draw it down, and hopefully I can get to the same point. And what I'll do is set up my laser at the front. I've got the reference to that point now, and then what I'll do is this one, I'll just bring it down until it's the exact same height in the air, and then throw a tack in, and then re-measure all of these bolts, all 4. I think I should be good. We'll see what happens. The reason why I don't show me grinding and stuff in here is because the metal shavings are magnetized. Well, they are attracted to the magnets in the microphone, and I turn my camera off whenever I use the grinder, because the little shavings get into the microphone and ruin the cameras. So that's why I don't do that. I'll bring you back.